Blues Matters here at Notodden Blues Festival. And we have John Primer and Bob Corritore. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Thank you, Colin.
You're just back off the stage from yesterday at the Down. Tell us how it was for you.
Well, it's great. I had a great time there. People enjoyed it. And what I think the audience, they enjoyed everything, but it was great up yesterday for a good time. And it was a pleasure for Bob and I to play for those people, because I haven't been here in a long time. I've been here before, but it's been a while since I've been here. But it was great. Sound was great. Everything was great. We had a ball up there. Yeah. We old pros. We know what to do.
The whole week has been amazing. For 1 week out of the year, it seems like Notodden is now, this week, the blues capital of the world. And there's so much going on. They made the whole town revolved around it. Beautiful murals, great stages. They've got the educational program, and we've been blessed to do a number of shows to loving audiences. We're having a blast.
How does it compare with some American festivals like the Chicago Festival?
Well, to me, when they have those festivals, they're all the same. Everybody come, they love to hear music and blues, and people come from all over the world, but if you got to work with the people. See, everywhere I go, I play, and I make them all act the same way, because I go up there and I go up there and play for the people, not for me. I don't go try to show out or nothing like that. I don't like trying to show out on stage. Just play what I know and try to do as well as you can, and and get across. And people, they like that. They don't want you to play, but not too much show off. You can do a little bit, But that's the way you do it. And you work with them. They're about the same, but a little bit more. When I come to Europe, they seem to enjoy it more, because a lot of people out there know what about it. There's a lot of people out there that's never heard blues before, and they learn it. So it's great, man. They act a little different, but it's all the same. All come out the same thing, You do your job and get up there and play for the people, not for yourself. But like Matt Slim, I got one or two for my own self I play too. I saved one for myself. That's the last song.
That's the last one.
Oh, man.
And what keeps you motivated? What keeps you enjoying the music and playing live?
Well, it's something I love to do. That's what keeps me motivated, because every time I put a guitar in my hand, I feel good. When I don't have one in my hand, I'm always thinking about it. But I enjoy it. It makes me feel good. Yeah, I enjoy what I do.
You seem to be touring quite a lot.
A whole lot, yeah.
You've done a lot of shows.
More than ever, yeah. Since the pandemic, we all musicians have been working a whole lot.
Well, that connection got lost during the pandemic. I mean,
yeah.
Do you see any difference in audiences coming out to your shows?
Yeah. I see a different, yeah. A lot of different. But everybody back into it now. We forgot all about the pandemic,
Yeah.
I hope it's still, we'll never come back,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you, Bob, what about you?
I mean, it's a wonderful journey. Blues love is something that's universal, and that's really great. So wherever you go, there's blues family. And if you don't know them, then they become your family after you've met them. As far as the pandemic, it changed things a bit, but
it did,
we're back in action. And I remember the year right afterwards, I did, I think, 6 tours of Europe in 1 year, which I'd never done before. Then we played in Canada over at Edmonton, so that was a busy year for me. John works more than I work by a long shot, but I stay at home. I got my nightclub, the Rhythm Room in Phoenix, so I get to stay at home, and I kind of have to a little bit more because I've got business to run over there, but it's a wonderful blues life.
Do you get the balance right between business and pleasure?
Well, sometimes you got to do business to get to the pleasure, right? Yeah. John knows that well, too.
Yeah.
But the end result, and one thing that John spoke about, is the joy that you have when you're playing with a great band, playing music that you really believe in with people that believe in it with you. John comes from the old school Chicago blues, which is how I was raised. And when I get to play with John and the guys, it connects me with the way I grew up in the music. And when we're able to portray that, it's meaningful beyond the songs and the notes. It's like a whole life that I'm able to share with people. So that's really important to me. I can play a lot of different styles of blues, but when I'm playing Chicago blues, that's where I'm most at home. And that's just how I was raised. That's what I hear in my head when I'm thinking about what I should play. So
When did the pair of you start playing together? Seriously?
that was 2012, actually.
Yeah.
Though we had known each other. I used to go see John Primer play over at Teresa's when he was just getting started over there. He had played, of course, a lot before that, but I remember him from those early days. And then, our paths just kept crossing and that. And at one point, somebody asked, why haven't I paired up with John Primer? And I go, I don't have a good answer to that question. It seems like we probably should. And then lo and behold, his agent, Jay Ryle, gives me a call like within a couple of weeks after that statement was made. John would like to come out and play with you and your band over at your club. Would you be interested in that? Yeah. And then why don't we do a recording session while we're there? John and I, who had actually never played before then, we immediately realized that we had this connection to our Chicago blues sound. We went in the studio, and from the first note, it just hit hard and kept going. So we're like, okay, we got something. Then we put out our first record, and it was, for both of us, it was the first time that we were #1 in the Living Blues charts. And then we were at the Blues Music Awards talking about it, and John says, yeah, I'm real proud of that. You want to do another one, Bob? I go, really? Okay. And then we just kept it going. So I'm so proud whenever I get to share stage with this man. He represents everything I stand for in Chicago blues.
That's right. Showing my appreciation with him.
And are you recording an album just now?
Something he's got some things he's working on. I'm working on things separately. Lisa just brought up the idea of coming back to Phoenix and maybe doing something.
Yeah.
I guess we need to think about that because our record just won a Blues Music Award for Calling Kingsnake, and I think that people are probably going to want to hear some more. But that's something we haven't made plans on yet because we've both been so busy individually, but I'm game for it if John is. So.
We got a lot of stuff in the can.
Yeah.
And then, he got stuff that we do, he says it, and then I go back to the rhythm room and we go to the studio and we come up with a different song. If he hear me singing something, I'm sure he's going to pick out something that I've been doing on this tour. I know he is.
Speaking of which, that second song you did yesterday.
Yeah.
Seriously, I like that one.
Yeah, the second song was Jimmy Rogers tune. I know one of them, my song, Poor Man Blues.
No, it was after that one, but it was cool. It was kind of a slow blues and it had that cool turnaround.
Yeah.
It had a little major scale feel to it. I dug it. He must know thousands and thousands of songs because every time I play with him, he comes up with something I've never heard him do. We had a month tour, and every night he kept coming up with new material. And I'm going, wow. I
sing different songs every night.
So
all the time.
I don't even know. I know a lot of what he does, but I don't know the half of it, really. I mean, he keeps pulling new stuff out.
Yeah, I remember, because that's what I did all my life, learning songs and other people's songs and writing songs. So it just stays in my head. The older I get, the slower they come to me, but they come to me. Yeah, I'm always can find one to do,
What makes a good song for you, John?
A good song? Yeah. Blues. Blues make a good song. And, all my songs to me is good. I mean, to me, I do them good, and I just don't do them. I do them with a feeling, and that's what make a song good. You just can't go up there and pray and just play. You got to come from your heart, mind, and soul. And if you don't feel it, the organ feel it. And that sometimes, you think you be up there getting down. But that Muddy said that to me. He said he thought he would be getting down sometime, and sometimes it don't sound good up there to him, but it sound good to the people. And so that you got to do it with a feeling, And where I come from is a feeling there. I played the way I grew up down in Mississippi.
Yeah,
I grew up hard time. It's good time and bad time when you're a kid, but I always had a kind of sad life growing up with my dad. I was 3 years old and I lost my dad. 3 going on 4, he was 19. So it was tough. And my mom, she was always, I raised by my grandparents and cousins and all them, but my mom would always be in town somewhere working or something. Might not see her in 2-3 weeks. And when I got 6 years old, she moved to Chicago. And that was sad because I wanted my mom, When she coming home, I'm happy. But when she leave, I cries for hours. My grandmother make me come on down here. They probably she would always say they probably in Illinois, Champaign. She always say that. When she say that, I stop crying. Yeah. So that's my life of playing music, you know. Sad, I'm sad, but not the music. The music makes me happy. And to make whoever come to see it happy if they sad. Blues, they always say, well, you know, a lot of younger generation, they say blues is sad music. Some old people say it's sad music, but it's not sad. It's you, the one that's sad, what comes at the head.
Yeah, that's it.
And then when you leave, you're happy.
I mean, how do you get the blues over to a younger generation?
Play it. They have no choice.
Yeah.
They got to listen to it. You know, and a lot of young people, they love it. You know, they come see me play. But what I do when I see a lot of young people in the audience, I play blues, and I play some soul stuff they know, you know, that I know what they know. I might hit a rock and roll too. Whatever they know, I know they know it, see. So you play that, and that's how you get over to them, yeah.
So you read the room when you're on stage. How did you learn to read a room? I mean, how did you learn your stage craft?
Quite didn't understand you.
The way you are on stage, how do you get an audience?
You work with them.
Yeah.
You work with the audience, yeah. You smile, you don't stand up there with an attitude. You smile, you work with them. You say some funny things to them, you know, and then you make them sing too. Get a song so you can sing. They'll sing if you make them. I make them sing, yeah.
It's very organic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And play live on the stage. You feel that connection with
With the audience.
fellow band members.
Yeah, with the band members, yeah.
Yeah. I know during the pandemic, it was difficult because a lot of the time, I know musicians, myself included, we, when you're on the road, that's when you get your inspiration.
Yeah.
And, you know, used to road test some of the songs live. You've never played them before, but and you get these ideas, but it's all organic, isn't it?
Yeah, you know,
Feeling.
just goes and make them, you know, do things. Sing and talk to people, to the audience, and I don't mind going out there and amongst them. You know, I don't try to hold back. Don't keep me away from the audience. That's who make you. Yeah. Like a lot of the big guys, stars and things, like some of them you can't, the security won't let you get to them. Yeah. But don't hold me back. Don't hold me back. Let me go out there with the people, and they ain't gonna mess with me. If they do, you know, I know how to get them off. Just go along with them, and you're all right. I know, I like people.
And your musical background, Bob, is?
I grew up in a different generation and a different culture. You know, my parents Italian Americans, and we grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. I was born in Chicago and then raised right outside of that. So blues was always around, but at the same time, it wasn't like right in front of me the way it was with John growing up in Mississippi and coming to Chicago and being right in the heart of, you know, the South Side blues scene. But I always enjoyed music, and I used to hear some of the rock music that was playing on the radio, and I always enjoyed aspects of it. And I didn't realize what I enjoyed was the blues part of it. And then, lo and behold, FM radio was coming into popularity, and I heard a Muddy Waters song, Rolling Stone, and it just changed my life. At that moment, I realized that was what I liked about the other music, but here was the roots of it. Here was the pure form of that. So I rode my bicycle to the local record store and bought Muddy Waters' Sail On, and it was basically had all the great stuff with Lou Walter and Otis Spann and Jimmy Rogers. Junior Wells plays on a song on that. And I was like, woo.
But did your dad approve that record, or did you hide it from them?
No, my parents were fine with it. They liked it a lot better than the rock music, so they thought it was cool. But I played that record over and over. I bought a little Walter record, a Sonny Boy Williamson record, B.B. King record, Jimmy Rogers, Chicago Bound. And I used to go to bed at night dreaming about those songs. My brother gave me a harmonica. A little bit after that, I started playing and trying to coax those same notes. Now, the people nowadays, they've got the internet. They've got all these people giving lessons. We didn't have that. We had to kind of learn on our own. It took me a little bit to figure out what was happening, but once I figured out where it was going, how it fit with the chord changes, I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. So, you know, there was some little high school jam bands and things like that. But while I was in high school, you know, Muddy Waters and his band played in my high school gymnasium. I got to see a bunch of shows at Northwestern University. Used to listen to the blues radio from Northwestern. I could go down to Maxwell Street and sit in some with John Henry Davis over there, and kind of just sink my teeth into it. And I was surprised that they let a young whippersnapper get up there and try my hand, but I had a sense of melody and construction, things like that. So I, had a little bit of respect at that point. And as I went on to grow in my instrument, I hung around with guys like Louis Myers and Big Leon Brooks, and used to go see Big Walter Horton and Carrie Bell and Junior Wells. And I'd get whatever tips, and sometimes just watching them was the tip. And I learned the sounds as best I could. There was a thing that was so precious about the Chicago blues sound that is not something you can really even explain. You can't put your finger on it, but it's a sound. It's its own thing. It has its own logic. It has its own movement to it. And so the more I learned about that, the more the older guys heard that I was playing that style, and they gave me respect, and they gave me stage time, and got to sit in with a bunch of people and learn the ropes. Even I played in some bands when I was in Chicago. I was looking at myself as a student. I just was so involved in it. And Willie Buck hired me in like the first real deal Chicago blues band. I show up for work, and I'm playing with Louis and Dave Myers and Odie Payne and Big Moose Walker. I'm going, how did I land this gig? This is amazing. And I was friends with Louis, but I looked at him as like my mentor. I said, Louis, I don't think I should be up here playing with you all. He goes, you playing, go on. And so I found acceptance in that I never thought that I would ever have. It was a beautiful thing. The blues has treated me right. I owe a debt that I hope to continue to repay the rest of my life.
Yep.
What's the best advice you've had in your career? And who from?
Good question. I mean, there's a lot of business advice, but musically, I think some best advice is that somebody once said that I should learn how to play in the style, but I should find my own conversation with that. And I think that's the best advice. So I can only be me. I can't be Little Walter or Big Walter, but I can learn what they did and put it together in my own way and put my stamp on it, put my signature on it. And then I'm playing Bob Corritore. And I may not be the best harmonica player in the world, but I'm the best Bob Corritore harmonica player in the world. So that's the best I can be.
The same with you, John?
Same with me, same. Like he said, I might not be the best guitar player, but I'm the best for myself because I never stop learning. I'm still learning. I learn all the time, I'm not the type that just got this one style and that's it, but I learn all kind of style I can from other blues guitar players. I learned that lick, but I play it my way. And like I say, I learned from all them old guys, Louis Myers, Dave Myers, Sammy Longhorn, and Biter Smith. They all came down to Teresa. And I was always the rhythm guitar player with all those guys that come down. And whenever Sammy wasn't able to play, he would get drunk or something like that. And then I have to take over and sing. But when those guys get up there and play, they want me to play the rhythm guitar player behind them. And I does it, and I support them very well. But to me, they was teaching me. I never got scolded or nothing like that. When I played guitar with anyone, Magic Slim for 13 years, I played with him. The rhythm guitar player, but I played lead. I could play lead, but I was a rhythm guitar player. Sometimes he'd give me a lot of lead on the show, but I always wonder why he give me all heated, man. But he was teaching me. So I've been learning all my life. I never stopped learning from those guys. I still learn from them. And not very many of them alive now, but I remember. I carry their memories on. B.B. King, I never wanted to play like B.B. King, but I always wanted to learn his music and sing the songs, But everybody want to be like B.B. King. Like he said, you can't be B.B. King. You learn what they play and do it your way. But you can't get away from it because that's what you learn. When you play, you're gonna hear B.B. King note, Buddy Waters note, Howlin' Wolf. You're gonna hear it,
And any stories from the road that you can tell us?
From the what?
You haven't told anybody before.
What?
Oh, he's asking about the stories from the road.
Road.
That's a loaded question. How many hours you got here?
That's pretty hard.
As long as you can.
Yeah. Well, I don't have too many stories on the road because I'm not. I just go what I do on the road. I just go up and play, and I'm not really a storyteller. Sometimes we can lie a little bit though.
Well, who's been the most difficult person to play with? Who've you had?
Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
Of course, he was my number
that's
one.
what I was alluding to.
It was great because I played in Willie Dixon band, and I got in Muddy Waters, then I got in Magic Slim band. But my two favorites was Muddy Waters, Magic Slim, because they always played the same way, the same sound. They never changed the sound, So those are my favorites, favorite two guitar players. But I listened to B.B. King when he was in Memphis, WDIA in Memphis. When he would come on that morning show, I would listen to him too. But all the other guys, Lightning Hawk, all those people, but Muddy Waters and Matt Snell were my most favorite guys I played with, yeah. Willie Dixon was okay. He was my star. But only reason why, I played with Willie Dixon 6 months. The only reason I left the band because I was still at Teresa when I was playing, but he knew I could sing because he always would come down there and he'd be singing. But on his show, he never let me sing.
Right.
Nope. So that was one reason why I left the band, because I want to sing too, but everybody else in the band singing. And I said, not bragging by myself, why he letting them sing? And I know I can sing better, but only one person in the band and I couldn't sing with Lafayette Link on the piano. I couldn't beat him singing. But the rest of them, they ain't singing. Even Willie Dixon, and that voice. Billy Branch sang, Jimmy Tillman sang, and his son Freddie Dixon would sing. But they never let me sing, see. Well, that's the only reason why I left. But I didn't have no problem. I still had a job at Teresa anyway. Worked with Junior Wells and all of them, James Cotton and all of them. Played with all them guys.
Bob.
Yes.
Can you tell us stories from the road?
I get out of it.
What's it like working with this man?
Well, it's pretty amazing to work with John because he brings out the old feel Chicago blues, but he keeps it with full energy. So you can't slack off if you're working with John Primer.
No.
He won't let you. So he's taught me a lot about keeping the intensity going, and that's been a really valuable lesson. On top of that, I just love his phrasing and whatnot. And so sometimes we've done a number of tours of California for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
By the end of that 2 weeks, I'm finding that a lot of what I'm playing starts to kind of go along with the logic of his solos. So all of a sudden I'm doing things like that. So we've developed over a bunch of time. But John is great to be on the road with. Right after we did our first recording session, we were invited to do this 1 month tour of Europe. It was called the Chicago Blues Festival Tour. And it was John and myself, Billy Flynn, Melvin Smith, Willie Hayes, and Peaches Stanton. And so I embarked on this journey, and that group had never played together with all those pieces. I'd worked with John and Billy before and worked with Melvin once. But we formed a band, for that month. I just saw a man that was the self-discipline that he had on the road. He just always was right there. He always had my back. If there was something that I was forgetting or something like that, he'd say, Bob, we got together for breakfast. So you kind of get to know somebody when you're on the road. And by the end of that month, I felt very connected with John. And I realized that there was not only a musical connection, but a friendship connection that was there. And we went and we did, it was a long tour. And every day we'd wake up in the morning, we have our breakfast, we'd load up the van, head to the next place, check into the hotel. We might have an hour to take a quick nap. Then we had to dress up for the gig, go do the sound check out the back line. They'd take us all to dinner. Then they'd bring us back to the venue where we'd be in the dressing room while the opening band did it. And then we go out and do our show. We go back to the hotel. We'd wash our clothes in the sink, put them on the radiator, hoping that they'd be dry by the next morning. We'd pack up, load the van, and it was like that for a full month. And we were in different towns every night. It was a real lesson in discipline. John just was the example of pure discipline. He always had energy. At the end of that tour, everybody's in the backstage area kind of like just yawning and just kind of, but John is like getting ready for the gig, and he's just warming up on the guitar. It's like, okay, this is how it's done. So John's taught me some lessons of like being a real trooper on the road, and I just look at him as the great example of how you should operate when you're a pro on the road.
That's it. 80-20. 80 minutes of your time, 80, You play 80 minutes, you take 20 minutes of your time. or 30 minutes of your time, but you play 80 minutes, keep that in your mind. Yeah. Pleasure comes, but, pleasure can come later, but do what you do, and then you got time to go to the pleasure stuff and do. But be serious what you do, yeah. Go along with the program, Everybody's in the band playing. You don't. I see the older guys, the musician thing, the leader used to always yell at the musician that playing behind me, but you don't do that. We all, it's a job. And so you don't get mad, angry. You would talk about this, but you don't yell, like scold them like a kid or something. They grown and they know what they're supposed to do. Just give them some advice, nice advice, no evil, mean advice. Talk nice, like you want to be treated. That's the way I treat people. Treat them like I want to be treated. I treat them nice. So when somebody don't treat me nice, it hurts my feeling, but I don't care. I still go along with them.
I'll add a little bit to my story, too, because one of the joys that I've had is getting to work with some of my heroes. I got to do two small tours with Jimmy Rogers, which I could never believe would ever happen, because I bought that record Chicago Bound, and I just fell in love with all those songs. Then years later, I'm getting to perform many of them with the guy that was there creating the definitive Chicago blues. So that was a great thing. I got to work with Bo Diddley a number of times. Every time he came into Phoenix, he'd get a pickup band and he'd call for me. That was a real joy to be able to work with masters like that and somehow find that they felt that I was worthy enough to work with them. And some cool friendships were created from all that. So there's many, many stories like that, but that stuff that's beyond my wildest dreams, I was able to accomplish.
How did that make you feel when you...
Exhilarated, proud, humbled, hoping that I would do a good enough job that I could remember it and feel good about the moments I had. And I always played my heartfelt best. I always felt I could do a little bit better. Of course, we always are self-critical that way. But I learned every time that I played with somebody, every time you play with somebody, you go, how can I do that a little bit better the next time? What would I do differently? And then I just kept adapting a little bit further and further with everything. And at the end of each night, I'd go back and I'd inventory what I felt really good about, what I didn't feel really good about, and I'd think about what I might do differently the next time.
When I see, like, we go to Austin, Texas, and play at this place called Antone. But when my first trip was muddy when we went to Austin, Texas to play at Antone. And so at that time, the old band had to quit. Pine Top and all of them had quit Muddy. So Jimmy Rogers, he went with us to fill in till he get another guitar player.
Oh, cool.
And so we driving, we in the front van, and Jimmy Rogers and Mojo Buford in the back van. But Jimmy Rogers had a whole fifth of Sherry Rican, and you could see him. And he drank all the way, all that whiskey. And every time we look back, his mouth, he talked with Mojo, so he talked all the way. So we had to play that night. So now we playing on stage that night, Muddy. We playing just as good, and all of a sudden, Jimmy Rogers, he gets Jimmy Rogers solo. Jimmy Rogers went to play that solo, and they had this small pillar stage. They didn't have a big stage. And he stumbled, and he didn't fall, but he stumbled off the stage, and Muddy looked around at him, and laughed. So Jimmy Rogers, and that was the end of the tour for Jimmy Rogers. Yeah, so we hired Rick Crail right then.
Oh,
Mojo
boy.
did, yeah. And so that was so funny, man. He was drunk. I said, man, that was a real funny thing. But we got over, from then on, we went on. But it went on, and sometimes Johnny Winter was come in and and sit in and play. It was showing up. I knew what was going on when Johnny Winter would come. He would come and show us how he played behind Muddy, how to play behind him. And so that was a good thing for me, because we was at Chicago Navy Pier Festival, and he came up, Mighty Joe Young, they all came, Big Twist, they all came out, Coco on the stage, and James Scott. He came up and played, Johnny Winter played, and I was surprised he gave me a solo. And I played it the best I could, man, because I'm a great guitar player. And all of a sudden, I look around, Johnny Winter got his hat fan in my hand. I must be doing something right. They didn't get mad. It was funny, man. Nice time, man. The old guy, I miss him.
What would you say to a 20-year-old Bob Corritore?
Well, I just got through talking to 18-year-old young Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph.
And
yeah.
so I was being very parental. And
Yeah,
just
right.
giving him all the advice I could give him.
Yeah, I do too.
And he took it all in, and he said, I've already considered that. I said, well, I'm just reinforcing, so I'm just going to go through all the stuff. And, I don't know. I mean, as I get older now, I've got some harmonica students, and I just got through doing the Pine Top Perkins workshop. We did a workshop here at the Little Stevens Blues School. It's interesting because I think when the older guys showed me the tricks of the trade, that I didn't realize at the time, I just wanted to take it in, but I think they did it so that maybe I would pass it on after that. And at that point, I was a young man. Now I'm not a young man anymore. But I'm finding a lot of joy in that. So I try and tell people how to handle themselves in business, how to look at the bigger picture of where they're at right now and the possibilities of where they might be at 20, 30, 40 years from now. And then one of the students I have seems very interested. He's already was an accomplished player in a technical way, and I'm trying to get him now to understand the nuances of that Chicago blues thing that I found important for me to learn. And some of what I had to do is not to have him hit it so perfect or sanitized, but to hit it with a little of the extra blues grease, put some gravy on it, And one of the guys I'm teaching is very receptive to that, and I'm showing him these things. He goes, "Oh wow, my head is exploding. I'm having to rewire myself." And it's kind of endearing to hear that. But he recognizes the difference, and that I'm showing him. He may not have it right away, but if he is serious about getting it, he now knows where he can go with it. So, and he keeps coming back for more lessons. So I think he's a serious student.
No, yeah.
And you met him. He's here at this festival. He's from Sweden, so we've been doing these phone messenger lessons over the phone. But it's been good. It's a feeling of giving back to be able to do that. And so I just do my earnest best to give them the best and most heartfelt information I can. And I'm showing everything, all my secrets and stuff that nobody would ever bother to tell me, but it's things that I learned the hard way myself. So I guess that's why I would teach him. I also try and teach him respect for the tradition of the music, because we all are standing on the shoulders of the greats that came before us. And just like John was saying, how he admired Muddy Waters, and some of the people that he got to work with also feel the same way. And so that music is so sacred, and it's not to be taken lightly. So I'm saying to them, learn that music, learn those songs, learn the feel of that, and then take it and make it your own. And so that's why that's the advice I would give and have been giving.
Blues is, well, people always ask, where the blues come from? Well, a lot of people say, well, it's come from slavery time, black people. But that's not true. Blues come from everybody, from all over the world, people don't realize they're in Europe and every other country. They don't realize back in the days, they don't know how people grew up back then. Everybody had a hard time. Every city all over the world, there was blues guys from everywhere, not only Mississippi. So the way I see blues come from hard time, hard living, from your soul. But the thing I tell people all the time, blues is real, and blues tell the facts of life, tell the story. But one thing about blues, it's not just come from one nationality. Blues come from all peoples, and blues don't have no color. Blues, you can feel it, but you can't see it. So we don't know. We can feel it, we don't know where it come from. It's come from your soul, mind and soul, but it was created, back then from the field and howling and staving. And drums come from, like they said, come from Africa or stuff like that. They was known in drum, but there was people in the U.S. and Europe and stuff beating on things too, get a message across and all that stuff. So you can feel it, but you can't see it. So it don't have no color. So it's come from every soul, body, human being, women's and men. Got a lot of women's out here playing blues now and can play. So Foley, I see a lot of women's playing guitar and stuff like that, but they seen it how that different sound. But Sue, she became my number one female blues guitar player.
Yes.
She's my number one.
Yes.
In my
Yeah,
book.
You got her last night.
Saw her last
Man,
night.
she's great.
She was.
Man, she can play old time stuff.
Yeah, very naturally, yeah.
So I love the way she.
I have a little something to add to what John said, too. So when I first heard blues, and I heard Muddy Waters and Junior Wells, Hootie Man Blues, and I go, this is from a different world than the one that I come from. I feel it so much. And then I bought the Muddy Waters Live. Mr. Kelly's had both James Cotton and a guy named Paul Osher.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
that one.
I read that Paul Osher was a white man that was playing in Muddy Waters.
I thought it was black too.
And I was so impressed with that. And I thought, well, you know what? If Muddy Waters, who to me is the final say on the blues, if he's going to allow a talented young white man into his band, that maybe someday there'd be a place for me in this music.
Yeah.
And I was very young and formative when I bought that record. And so that gave me the hope that there was kind of a universal thing that I could be accepted in this music, even though it comes from a black heritage, sacred, earned heritage. You know, but I've always tried to be respectful of that in how I approach this. But when Muddy Waters hired Paul, that was something that I think so many of us harmonica players felt a sense of reinforcement that maybe we could also follow in that path.
Yeah, that's why they did it back then. So we got to keep it going. You know, they don't. It's not like it used to be when we was growing up. You know, it was a learning foundation to create back then. All this blues and all these guys, B.B. King, Lightning Hockton, and all of them, they was creating it. They were laying it down so we can carry it on. Because now you don't hear it like it used to be. And blues is only one thing. What they was doing is it. It's still there. You can't change it. Oh, a lot of people try to change it, you know, but it's come from the blues. Yeah, so you can't change it, yeah. It's always going to be the same. And you don't hear nobody playing like when I came to Chicago or anywhere, juke joints. But I came to Chicago, every house or somewhere, somebody's rehearsing, playing blues, but it's all type of music. It's not like that anymore, no. Maxwell Street was the place where all the people learn that. Go down there every Saturday and Sunday, and you're going to hear blues. Only 2 days, and no week. But Sunday was the big day, though. All the musicians would be down there playing for tips, tip bucket. Yeah.
And what about the future? Have you got any plans have you got for the future?
Well, I'll let John tell, but he's got a amazing album out now, and he's got another one that'll be a tribute to his old home base of Teresa's. It's got a bunch of the old timers on there, and I'm sure he's got some other things in the works. I've got an album coming out. Well, the latest album is with Willie Buck, and early this year I put out Doing the Shout, which is a modern recording, but then the Willie Buck album has come out, and that's just a straight Chicago blues record. That's getting some nice reviews. Yeah. And then I've got one coming out at the end of this year, actually in October, called Early Blues Sessions. That's just some of the early stuff, and I've got some unreleased little Milton in there with Henry Gray and Chico Chisholm and myself backing him. I've got a duet that I did with Lowell Fulson that I did in the 80s that I'd forgotten about, and I discovered that. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I still had that. So that's kind of cool. And then some of the stuff from the very first record and some other unreleased stuff, some unreleased Sam Lay. It's got Pine Top Perkins and Jimmy Rogers on there. It's a pretty cool thing. So that's coming out at the end of the year. And that's a statement of the way it used to be. And then next year I've got one coming out called the Ernestine Blues, which is all modern recordings. And it's got Tony Coleman, it's got Tia Carroll, it's got Jimmy Primetime Smith and Oscar Wilson and a whole bunch of people. It'll be a fun thing.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say to the Blues Matter public?
Well, all I say is just keep doing what you're doing, keep supporting the blues, keep the blues alive, you know. Like he said, I'll keep working on stuff too. Like I did the Grown in Mississippi CD. I did that because people always think they didn't know. A lot of them don't know I'm from Mississippi, see. They thought I'm from Chicago, but I have been in Chicago most of my life. But I did the Grown in Mississippi when got all the guys from Clarksdale to record that because let people know this is my town too, Mississippi. So So I got that done. Now, my other CDs that we did, like you said, a trip in to Teresa's Lounge, I got all the old guys on that. I wish I could have got Sammy Longhorn, but he's gone. Then after that, I'm working on my own thing. A lot of songs that I done written and ready for another CD of my all original music. I play all my music. I got created my own label, so I got Blues House Production, and I got really a good manager and road manager and all that. My wife Lisa, she do a lot of booking too. Jay Riley, her and Jay Riley work together, and Bob. We all works together. The three of us, trying to keep it going, right? So that's my next move. I just, put out Tribune of Magic Slim, and then I put out my Hard Time CD, all of, back-to-back stuff like that. But, now I got to create an album, one for myself now. I done did everything else. So I got another one probably come out, probably end of this year, probably going to go in the studio and record it. But I don't know when she'll put it out. I had to wait on Lisa to make up her mind what she's going to do with it. And her and Bob, they work together with releasing CDs. We don't want to get too close to each other. When one is finished, then we go and do something else. And when we do something else, then Bob come out with something, we do that. So that's the way we work with it. So I'm just telling people to keep the blues alive, keep it going on, and blues is real, and have no fear. Just come out and see blues. If you never heard it, I'm sure you will like it. Yep, the real blues.
Excellent. A good way to finish. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You all.
All right, Colin.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah.